Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture says it has observed that since the enactment of the Labour Act in 2006 with amendments in 2013, there has been a high incidence of claims by employees against employers. A recent press release stated that the costs and implications of such litigation are obvious, and in that context and in response to specific requests from members, the Chamber is happy to host a one-day workshop on the code with particular focus on termination of employment and disciplinary procedures. The private sector body encouraged its members to understand and become knowledgeable about employer responsibilities and rights and the critical rules enshrined in the 2006 Labour Code quite early in the new year to overcome concerns and address issues not readily understood without support of legal counsel. The workshop will be facilitated by a well-known legal practitioner with extensive experience in labor relations, that is Ms. Cheryl Goddard-Dorville of Goddard-Dorville Legal. The Chamber noted that several topics will be covered, including valid reason for dismissal, constructive dismissal, warnings and terminations for misconduct, unsatisfactory performance, and natural justice safeguards. The full-day event will run from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Creole Conference Room at Coco Palm Resorts on Thursday, the 31st of January, 2019. Now, meantime, the National Workers' Union says that concerns of the Chamber of Commerce should be no surprise. While the Chamber is now resorting to holding educational forums to apprise its members of provisions of the Labour Act, employers, the union says, must also be equipped to refuse bad advice that is often given to them. In today's world, the master and servant trend, the NWU says, has gone out of the window. The NWU said further that it must be clearly understood that the future and success of any company's operations hinge on the execution of sound and correct industrial relations practices, hard work, a consistent level of productivity, and a positive relationship between management and employees. Now, come Monday, the 7th of January, vehicle owners whose machines are without proper registration will face the risk of having their vehicle impounded. The stringent measure has been implemented after the Ministry of Infrastructure, SLASPA, and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force decided to take a more guided approach to vehicle registration by not allowing vehicles without proper registration to leave the port in the first place.
Car owners and those looking to purchase or import vehicles are being asked to take heed of the new partnership between SLASPA and the Ministry of Infrastructure in conjunction with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. At a press conference held on Friday, 4th January 2019, Chief of Ports Police Kennedy Francis highlighted the increase in the importation of used vehicles and noted that a great need has arisen to ensure that all vehicles leaving the port are not only insured but also registered.
Been in discussion with the Ministry of Infrastructure, Transport Services, and they have indicated to us that they would like SLASPA's cooperation on the enforcement of those laws. So essentially going forward, some of the procedures at the port will change. And first and foremost, all vehicles leaving the port thereafter will have to be issued with a sticker. So before you can leave the port, as part of the new procedures, you would need to go to Transport Board, register your vehicle, be issued with a registration sticker, issued with a license plate number, proceed for the production of those plates, and for those plates to be affixed as well as the sticker affixed to the windscreen before your vehicle can leave the port.
Deputy Chief of Police Milton Daisy explained that the implementation of this new procedure at the ports will be enforced heavily by Ports Police, and in its continued effort to cut down on crime, vehicles found operating that have not been registered will be impounded by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force.
Just to inform the members of the public, especially since Port Authority would be assisting in preventing vehicles from leaving the docks without the plates. If you are found without a plate or your vehicle not registered, we would enforce the law by impounding that vehicle until you could rectify the situation and taken to court for it.
This new procedure for the release of imported vehicles takes effect on Monday, 7th January 2019. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solej Alfred.
Mayor Peterson Francis says the St. Lucian public has yet to see the best of him. But with the new year, he plans to commence work to deliver on overdue projects and to launch some new ones. Mayor Peterson Francis says he's grateful for the level of support that he has received from the public thus far and for their level of trust in him. The mood on the ground suggests that people are generally pleased with the initiatives that the mayor has spearheaded in the city. The promised but delayed parking meters, he says, will come on stream in January as part of an overall traffic management plan to improve accessibility.
Again, I would like to thank the public, who have recognized that we're in dire need of some management of traffic management in the city, because a lot of people try to avoid the city, and you look at it, from the time I've taken over, is that the city is basically dying. It's not that people want it to die, but it's not words. You cannot be coming to town and you cannot get a parking space, and you have to do over and over. And we have the tendency of some people who comes in very early in the morning. And sometimes you have some household who lives outside of Casways. They will drive in, and you'll find that they'll come and park 2 cars from 6 o'clock in the morning until probably 7, 8 in the evening. So these things, we have to curtail these things. And the parking will not be a situation where you find that you could park where it's as a paid parking, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but it's not going to be a parking spot.
The mayor says the Green Spaces initiative will continue with the aim of making the city more aesthetically pleasing and friendly. Part of that thrust is also to address the dilapidated state of sidewalks in the city.
I'm just asking the public to be a little patient with us. I know there are some of them that they are even uneven. We know that we have had a few accidents, but I'm just asking them to be a little patient with us because we don't want to duplicate things. So right now we are basically patching. It doesn't make any sense to now go and rebuild sidewalks when we have that redevelopment with the OECS tourism initiative. So that is on its way.
The CCC is also ready to roll out its new tents to facilitate vending. The mayor promises concessionary rates on these tents for vendors and a commitment to work with them to ensure affordability.
What we want, if you look at the ambience of these people vending under these structures, it's really, really not good. The tents are already here. So it's just a matter of allocating. So we want people to be coming down in the morning to ply their trade, and in the afternoon let the city be cleared. So you don't even know if there was any vending during the day.
The mayor has also indicated that there is an active search to identify an appropriate site for a new cemetery. He's optimistic that government will soon acquire lands outside of Castries to facilitate the new cemetery. The public, he promises, will be updated soon. Now, Rochelle Gonzalez takes to the streets to ask the public for their opinion on whether there has been enough hype and flair over the island's upcoming celebration of its 40th independence anniversary.
Over the past few years, hasn't it seemed like major events have just seemingly crept up on us? There was the Jazz Festival, the Carnival season, Christmas and New Year's. They arrived and it was just like, whoa, when did that happen? Now, one other major event is creeping up on us very soon, and yet, where's the vibe? Where is the buzz? For the 40th independence anniversary of St. Lucia, weren't you expecting there to be more fanfare by now?
I'm very proud St. Lucian, happy from where my forefathers came from, slavery to we knock and vote. But I think, to be quite honest, I think that, in my own humble opinion, the 40th anniversary of independence should be postponed next year, until we focus all our resources, our energy on getting the hospitals opened. No point in spending millions on an independent anniversary and then in March I fall sick and I have nowhere to get proper health care. So I think that the health care is important. A lot of friends of mine, the cancer officer last month, he had to travel to America for treatment. You know what I'm saying? Who can afford to go will go, but what about who can afford? So we can postpone it next year, and the year after we'll have a grand 41st, a grand 42nd. But for now, focus our resources, our monies on the hospitals, please. That's my take on that.
Well, I would expect it to, but I have not heard anything.
So what do you think about that?
I suppose they're getting themselves ready.
It's not that I expecting anything more. To me, I expecting worst. And this is what I'm seeing. This is what it is looking like. now.
I think Independence Day is that's our celebration in St. Lucia, and I expect that we should celebrate independence as a country that have 40 years of independence, and that's a lot. But sometimes I wonder if we are independent at all. I don't think we are independent.
Thank you very much.
We should be able to manage our own self.
Coming on the heels on a very low-key Christmas celebration, I was expecting at least some more hype as far as the 40th anniversary of our independence is concerned. This is something that we should be very proud of, that we are celebrating. We are going to celebrate our 40th year of independence, and every St. Lucian should be proud of that. And as you said, we are hearing nothing at all. We are less than a month away, or over a month and a half away from independence, and we also have our celebration of our Nobel laureates right on the heels as well. So there's a lot for us to be celebrate, but not seeing anything.
No, because things bad in the country. So that's why. So people don't have time for them things again. It's more their pocket they're looking for.
Well, something about this particular background with Sir John standing right there behind me has left me feeling rather patriotic. So I, for one, am looking forward to my Independence Day. Well, you've heard what everyone else had to say. Want a chance to have your say? Join us right here at the William Peter Boulevard. I am Rochelle Gonzalez, checking out for Hot 7 News.
Thank you, Rochelle. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.